Arr, I'm like a pirate there. Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Pirate Think. I'm Brad Janes, and along with Sean Houlahan, we would like to extend a welcome to you. This is a massive milestone moment for Sean and myself, starting a podcast and doing something that not only challenges self but gives back to a community is something that we are strongly for and have been eager to get going. And it's interesting the mindset required to step in and do something new and challenge yourself. And in this moment, I'm really excited to bring to you Pirate Think and bring you this conversation with Sean and myself. The idea behind Pirate Think was just like pirates. I'm like a willy pirate there. Rebelling against the cause, unconventional thinking, stepping out into the great ocean of unknown, and seizing the day. This podcast is about embracing unconventional thinking, to look outside the box, to look outside the norm, and to really stretch through conversation the possibilities, potential, and uncertainty of things in life that face us today. Today's episode, episode 1, is really a landmark episode and also a life landmark for both Sean and myself. We've been talking for a long time about doing this and embarking on this voyage together and really pushing each other to step outside our normal lives and to take a moment, an hour, 2 hours a week to sit, reflect, and communicate about the things that really challenge, push, drive, inspire, and teach us. This podcast is all about navigating through the uncertainty of life. It's about rebelling with a cause. It's about our role in community and how self-help and self-growth benefits for the greater good. It's about embracing our imperfections, challenging each other to grow, to strive, to become the best version of ourselves, or what I like to say is the best version of our shit self. It's about the pursuit of passion versus practicality. Whatever, bro. I feel I'm really presentery, so let's just try and chat. Let's just try and have a chat. What's up, bro? Hey, man. Brad's my name. I'm just here starting a podcast with a mate, Sean, for the first time. I'm very excited to not only share this journey with so many, but to continue to explore the inner workings of myself, to bring about new confidence, to share openly, and to, I don't know, grow, change, whatever. I feel this is enough for now. You happy?
Well, are you going to do what you just said?
What do you mean?
The idea of Pirate Think and everything else?
Sweet. And if we need to, we'll just stop and I'll read some more notes and then we'll sit back down and
Sweet.
keep going. This is going to be interesting. This is great, actually. It is.
Yeah. It's just, let's see where it floats, see where it goes. It would have been great in the Oh, jeez.
But here we are officially, which is exciting, I feel.
Mm.
It's been 2 months, 3 months talking about this.
Yes.
Challenging each other.
Yes.
And here we are officially at D-Day.
You
know what we should do? Let's actually unpack. Okay, let's unpack the lead up to this and more so like the last 6 hours. Obviously, I was stressing. You were just pretending. You were like naive to it all happening, right? You were just like, Brad didn't call. It's not happening. And so I'm just going to lock into excavator work.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty settled in on the farm, going about setting up cattle yards, putting in water. And I was pretty adamant that no call and this was going to be pushed back at least for another week. So
a very non-pirate thing to do.
Yeah, exactly right. So I would say, this is really off the cuff, ready to go. Wasn't expecting.
And I feel that's what drew us to both want to do this was the challenge of the off the cuff, right?
Yeah.
Naturally, we have great conversations. And I think the reason why I can say we have great conversations without feeling weird about it is because most of the other conversations I have with friends or people in my life are very different to the conversations we have, right?
For sure. For sure.
And in my perspective, the conversations that we have are great conversations. And I suppose that's for a range of reasons. But at the core of it, probably it's the realness of the conversation and the ability to, although we're very happy to take the piss a fair bit, there's the safety net of the vulnerability, right?
For sure, for sure. I think, the greater how raw it is and how deep that we can go with those conversations, I don't know, it just feels refreshing for me anyway. And I feel like it's such a safe space. It's such a safe space to not be afraid to get it wrong too. For instance, having conversations and being okay to be wrong in those conversations, or being okay to be vulnerable enough to be able to listen to someone else's opinion and recognize that you might have it wrong.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty is like sharing those different experiences and what's happened in each other's lives, wins, losses, all the rest, and going deep in that and challenging each other's probably thought processes around different things from the different experiences that we've probably had. Yeah, it's a really enjoyable experience. It feels fulfilling. And it brings about breakthrough in a lot of areas, whether it's emotionally or just on a subject in particular. Just the chatting, going deeper, being vulnerable, taking that risk of fear of like being embarrassed or sharing that
or feeling
shame.
exposed,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. And I think it's it is a challenge in each time, but it's each time to know it's well received, received in love, and ultimately just trying to help each other be better people. And I think that's, for me personally, is just like, I love those conversations. I love the intensity of those conversations. I love going in the deep, prying, asking those harder questions. And like, if seeing something that you think you see and being okay that I might get it wrong, but it won't stop me from, if I see something else, calling you out on something else.
Yeah.
Not that I've been wrong, but
and that's a good, that's a good point as well of the feeling free to be wrong. It allows you the safety net to challenge harder points. And normally the points that you're challenging are actually things, even if you're challenging them in the other person, are usually things that you see in self.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't always feel the safety net or comfort to divulge them. But it's almost as you communicate and unpack them, whether you're giving the advice or receiving the advice, both bring about a learning opportunity in self.
Yeah.
And like, obviously you go through a lot of hard stuff being the caliber of person you are, and I'm helping you a fair bit. So
I knew that was going in that direction. Yeah. Definitely.
But I feel as I give advice, it's usually the verbalization, right? Almost as you speak, you're speaking it out and you know it, but you're also receiving it for self. And I think that's really important, which is the age-old thing why everyone says, if you have an issue, make sure you talk about it. And it seems like a really blanket phrase to put forward and seems so simple in its essence, but it's those simple things that I suppose, I don't know, for some reason, fear, worry, insecurity, all these other things, perception, expectation from others that you actually don't have the ability to.
Definitely. And it's like the hurts that we've had in the past and everything else, where potentially we've been vulnerable, we've shared, or people have exposed us in certain different areas and different ways, that it's ultimately going to determine who you go deep with as well, and who you're going to actually share those underlayers, those things that actually can expose you, can embarrass you, can bring about shame. It becomes easier for us because we've known each other for a while now, and we know each other's backgrounds and stories and everything else. So we kind of know the individuals we are. So we have almost created that platform of a safe space to be able to go there and continue to go deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
But it's a fine line trying to identify in individuals where they're at. Are they willing to go deeper, or are they happy to just keep it surface? And I think over the years, I personally, I suppose over the last few years particular, I've actually narrowed my friendship groups down smaller and smaller, just based on that thing, on who can I have these intimate conversations with? Who can I have these deeper conversations? Obviously, the last couple of years has been challenging in certain areas, but it's brought about of like, who are the people in my life that I can just be me?
Yeah.
Be real, be me, share the highs, share those lows, share the beautiful, which is plenty, and obviously plenty of ugly too, and just being able to...
Plenty of ugly.
Just being able to share that and sort of have those deeper and have a confidence in it. So I think being able to have these deeper conversations and talk about some of the deeper stuff and our feelings and where our mental health may be, or where our battles lie, and being able to actually share it just a few times, even with the close friends, it gives yourself gives me a bit of a confidence. I'm actually happy to share with someone, even if I don't know exactly where they are on their level, because I'm willing to just be myself in that. And if that is too much for an individual, I'm completely respectful and understand that, and they can make that decision that, we're not going to have that connection. But it's like, I feel time is short, life is short, and I just want to get to a place where I'm confident in just being me in any circumstance around any individual. Do you know what I mean? So
I do.
I think I've always put it down to when you first started dating. Like when you first start dating, you try and be the very best version of yourself, and you're trying to be things at times that's not actually remotely you. But you're prolonging them.
But you're chasing that girl.
You're prolonging them actually finding out the real you. And,
totally.
And that's, I think, for me personally, maybe it's because I'm getting older or whatever it might be, I just cut to the chase. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah,
or leave
love
it.
me or don't.
Love me or don't. It's going to be a challenge.
Seems
it's going to be
like
tough.
a few don'ts around.
Yeah, it's a bit tough, But if you've got nothing else on, look, I'm free.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I think that's probably a big exploration that I've had with relationships and the depth and vulnerability over the course of the last couple of years, for sure.
Yeah, cool. And then weaving the podcast, I suppose, into that, right? It's the next level of challenge.
For sure.
To be self, not only to those specific closer people, but embracing the rawness of actually putting it out to the world, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making a stamp of, I feel I've always, and we've spoken about this a little bit, but it's like that challenge of self of like, when no one else is watching, who are you? Or when the camera's on, who am I? Because I want to be someone that people like. Like we all have a core drive, right, to be loved and liked and accepted.
Sure.
And so in a one-on-one scenario, if you're really great, I like to call them the chameleon, right? You can be who you need to be based on bouncing off different people.
Yeah.
But it's not till you get, I suppose, or find a relationship or a group of people or a certain someone that you then relate with, and feel free to be a true version of yourself, that you then get to actually see who you are. Because I think we're both, I'm late 30s, early 40s, so we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And to even still think at this age, there's aspects of me that even I don't know who I am, essentially, because I've been really great at just naturally being who I need to be in a particular scenario.
Yeah.
And so the podcast challenge for me was definitely around solidifying, hey, anyone around here could see it. And that could include friends, family, you know what I mean? People I used to know, people I still don't yet know, but one day we'll meet. There's this whole realm of people that will look into that. And it's like the insecurity of self is, what will those people think, right? And then you start thinking, well, I need to be all these things for all these people, but you can't be that at one time.
Yeah.
So who's the real Brad? Who I don't know.
It's a good question, bro.
That's deep.
That was deep. That was a lot there. So I'm trying to.
That's great and important.
Incredibly important. I think there's two things that can happen there too, like the chameleon sort of approach. I don't know. I just feel that is an area for danger, and I think a lot of people do it. I've found myself doing it, changing who you are for particular groups of people and individuals to a
Yeah,
degree,
man.
and not being consistent and true. And I think it's just exhausting. Like not
It
being
is.
able to just be yourself and be consistent, but with one group of friends or whatever, family and everything else, you've actually got to change and adapt to be a particular personality or person or whatever else in that. It's just exhausting, I feel. And I feel like it's over the years, it's just getting to that place of just trying to work out, one, like you spoke about then, who I actually am. Like I think I'm still in that, working that out, who I am and everything else. And it's through conversations like this, getting better understanding, asking myself the right questions,
Yeah.
and getting that better understanding of that, so I can just be one person, be consistent, and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah, consistency is key, right? Because it's like the base foundation. A thing that just clicked into my head then, epiphany moment. Well, not epiphany, but realization too, is the chameleon is actually what brings resentment, right? Because you want to be this person, right? You look back over friendships or acquaintances or times of life,
Yeah.
and as that chameleon type personality, you be who you need to be for that person.
Yep.
Now, when that's not received, or that person is then no longer being what you need for you,
Yep.
it's an opportunity in friendships or close relationships like family or wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, where it starts to build resentment in the relationship.
Yep.
Because you feel like, hey, I've changed myself to be you.
Yep.
But whereas maybe that person was being a true version of themselves all along, and it's like it's actually up to you to accept.
Yeah.
And you're actually to blame there because you're the one that's maybe you compromised. Is that the right word? You know, compromised a part of who you are because you want to be something for someone.
Yep.
And I think sure we all need to shift and adapt and change, and there's compromise in relationships.
Yeah.
But I feel the chameleon has a extra ability to be forced into this position where it's like, wow, I've invested so much in this relationship.
Yep.
But you've actually invested so much to be what you think that person needs to be, and compromise self in the process.
Yep. No, I think that's really good. And it's I think it leads you to the trap too of misreading situations and misreading people. Potentially, if you're always changing yourself in those environments, and there's always certain groups there where it's always not going to go any further past that surface level.
Yeah.
So you both potentially just being individuals that you're not in that sort of environment, I just find that would be exhausting. But one of the things I come across mostly is a lot, I should say, not mostly, is people making judgments on other people based on one-off interactions, based off what other people have said, and them confirming by just a certain and simple things, and then a judgment is set on individuals through that. And then ultimately, how you behave as an individual to that person is already changed, it's shifted and everything else. So, I don't know, for me personally, getting to a place of just being consistent in who I am, no matter who it is, I think it's refreshing, and I think it's just more enjoyable.
Agreed.
You know, with all the relationships, with all the experiences, just have that consistency and just know who you are. Not having to pretend who you are. It's not easy, and I definitely haven't got it perfect, and I've got a long way to go. Yeah, you're not ready for just me yet. But
the realness.
Yeah.
So Pirate Think,
Yes.
that was a name actually my wife came up with.
Did she?
She did. Actually, I came up with the name Pirate Thought.
That was good.
And because I'm not overly intellectual in a lot of areas, as some would agree, she kind of said to be grammatically incorrect would be Pirate Think, and I'm fairly grammatically incorrect.
Yeah, true.
But it's a thank you. But it's a piece of me I've loved to learn to love.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know what? And I don't need to be either grammatically correct.
No.
I know what I'm saying.
Well, that's good. That's amazing.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So Pirate Think kind of came about. And interestingly enough, I was insecure to know whether you would like it or not.
That surprises me in itself.
Yeah, we've spoken about this a bit, haven't we? The surprising insecurities that sit below the surface. Maybe
No, I
that's...
expect you to have a fair few, but I didn't realise, I just didn't realise that was going to be one. I thought you would have, had that in confidence. But there you go. There's another thing,
But the idea behind it really was, like, pirates are cool, man.
Do like pirates, yeah.
And pirates have been, like, whimsical a bit from the Pirates of the Caribbean, and
Yep.
kind of, they're almost like this fictitious character. Mm-hmm. Whereas the reality is they were like, I don't know, man. They knew who they were, right? A captain of a pirate ship, for me, is like, they're like controlling the worst of the worst, right? And their crew are the lowest of the low, the hardest of the hards.
Yes.
And this captain pirate has this direction, and it's not what the government wants or the laws of the land, or it's like this pilgrimage of, I take what's mine and, like, I don't care. And
Like
I
a
think,
rebellion, or would you just say it's? Would you? In some ways, it could be looked as a rebellion, but
it is a rebellion. But I think, take away the right and wrong of the actions, the core essence and strength internally of the man
Yes.
to do that and live that life.
Yeah. Go against the grain. Go.
Is an incredible stature of a human to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
Is what I think. It's like, they're not out there with a fleet of Navy ships that have support and
True.
and the dollar of the crown being thrown behind them to aid through stuff. It's like, it's them and their boat and their crew, and man, they're like hardcore guys, and I don't mean that in a like blood guts. I mean, they are in that as well, which is, I don't mind, like, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't mind that side of it, but I just, around the concept of the internal world of a pirate. I mean, and that's what this podcast to a degree is all about, is our internal world and how that works out externally.
Yeah.
But the internal world of a pirate, man, is just a really interesting concept, and it takes us such a strength of character, like poor character, but there's still strength in the character, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
To be that type of thing. And I think in this world where we stand at the moment, like, there's bizarre shit going on in the world, right?
Yep.
It's a pretty weird place to be, and I feel maybe we need some pirates.
That's really good. I think I agree with that. I think there's not a lot of people have lost trust in our governments and our countries and everything that's been happening of late and continues to get more and more crazy. I think it's almost a time and a season for those people to sort of rise up that are happy to not go with the flow, and I think you'd be great to start with that.
Just call you up a pirate revolution.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
Like,
it's just like
get your
out
swords.
There. Yeah, yes.
Rape, pillage.
Yes. Well, each
Maybe,
their own. Yeah. No, whatever your vibe is.
We can back off on the rapage a little bit if we need to. We can just pull back, maybe some just heavy molestation or something. No, I don't know.
Oh no, I like that. I love the concept. I like the thought. I do like it even more so in the current timings that we are, and just in this world, and the questions are being raised and the changes. And I don't know. There's a lot of areas that I feel that we've gone a little bit weak on in this world, and I don't know. I mean, I know it's a big thing, but I feel we've just become a world that really supports the minority, run with it in just about any avenue. I know a lot of people will disagree with that, but that's my sort of opinion. And we do, like, for many. I'll leave that there. But that could have gone all
back. We'll move back to the
the
molestation.
Yeah.
I feel that's
just refreshed when my comment was looking a bit dodgy against your rapey.
Yeah, totally. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah, cool, man. I'm excited. I think really keen to get some people on.
Yes.
On the podcast to, like, talk about their pilgrimage, whether it be in business, in real estate, in life, self-growth, discovery.
Yep.
Just some cool shit that they might have done. Really keen to just, I don't know, I think there's so many aspects and areas in people's lives where they are the pirate and it's just a small section of their life. You know, like artists, and there's just so many people that really like push the status quo and push the norm, or push an agenda. And there's so many that are getting pushed, but I think there's a level of strength in that.
Yeah, for sure.
And a level of strength that we can learn from and grow in.
I think that's the biggest thing, and then one of the biggest things that, like, I think we've spoken about and coming into this is just to not stop growing. And I just in a real season of just wanting to grow in myself, and like you said, getting individuals in and just having conversation.
Yeah.
You know, what makes them tick, what's how they get through situations, how they deal with that, how they deal with the backlash, the mental challenges, the physical challenges at the time, but just to hear other people's stories and how they're getting on and just have conversation.
Yeah.
You know, learn as much as I can and grow as much as I can through these conversations, you know. And for me personally, that's one of the, we've spoken about it, that's one of the big drivers in doing this and speaking with yourself and more people as we get them in and on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this journey.
Yeah.
I really am on a whole bunch of levels. What's your opinion on piercings, like face piercings?
Ooh, I've had one.
So have I.
Have you?
Yeah, nose.
Yeah, I could picture that. Yeah. Yeah, like, was it a ring or something? Oh, yeah. Just, you can imagine what.
What did you have? You had an ear for sure, didn't you?
Yeah, I think everyone went through the ear, went up high.
I never went through the ear.
No, not in those things. But then I actually I've forgotten what it's called. I got it, what's it called here? When it's done through here.
Clavicle?
No, isn't it it starts with L, I
You
think.
know, you got it.
Is it a labret? Have I got that right?
I don't know.
No, I definitely haven't got that right. Anyway, I got it there. Didn't last long because it never healed. Same day, good mate, we went in. I got one there. He's got one through the eyebrow. Passes out clean, hits the side of the bench, cuts his head open. Then we're in hospital.
Wow.
It was a day.
What were the ones called that girls got in their skin?
Ooh,
You remember those ones?
I do. I don't know. I couldn't tell you the name of them though.
Young married. Where were we? I want to say we were in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Wife had two on her arm.
She had to.
She had to, yeah. Wild child. Yeah.
Wow.
One got caught on the jumper just before we left, and it kind of got all infected and like fungusy.
Ah, yeah, right. Nice.
And yeah, it was almost a relationship ender. It was pretty foul to be and so we're like, I can't remember what we saw. We saw a cabaret or something like that, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, middle of Barcelona. And we're walking the streets, and there's like a street parade on, with like the masks and all crazy.
Yeah.
And the pain in her arm was like, it was starting to get really inflamed. And so we went walking in this place, and we're asking these locals, like, is there a piercing place around? Anyway, we eventually got sent these directions. We found it. Back in the day where you didn't have like global roaming because like data cost you $100 for a kilobyte or something like that. And
right. Yep.
So we didn't have Google Maps or anything like that.
Yep.
Anyway, we find this tattoo parlor, tattoo and piercings. We walk down these stairs and there's these three Barcelonan men that just definitely were doing other things than tattooing. And so we walk in there and we're trying to explain to them that this is inflamed, and they could see it. Their English wasn't great, but they're...
So you went to a piercing place because it got inflamed, not to a medical centre or something?
Well, there's no medical centres we could find.
Right, okay.
Actually, over there, they have vending machines for... We went to a chemist and we tried to buy a scalpel, and I was going to cut it out of
so you were trying to get it out?
Yeah, we just thought, let's just get it out.
Isn't it not a matter of two balls and then...
It's like a fish hook.
Oh, so it's hooked in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not just a piercing through the skin and two balls, if you will.
No, they were actually they were in.
Oh
and
God.
So yeah, and we thought, oh, can we go and get a scalpel and cut it out? Anyway, we couldn't.
Just on that, what's
Yeah.
the initial desire to do that? Has your wife ever shared why she would want that bit of metal stuck into her forearm?
I think it was just no,
Was it
no
it fashion?
different.
Was it same thing?
Yeah, look,
fair play.
I think it's just they were kind of a new fad thing that it popped up that
Okay.
not many people, I suppose, had done.
Yeah.
Maybe out of rebellion, maybe that pirate spirit got a hold of her and you just saw.
I want to continue, but one thing I have noticed though, I don't know whether it's because we're sitting down and having a conversation in front of a camera. You're very theatrical with your hands.
Oh, more theatrical.
Yeah, it's quite good.
That's good. It is good.
good.
I hadn't even noticed.
Yeah, it's a lot of that, and I feel like I should be doing something like
Yeah.
that too. But anyway, continue.
So we walked down there it goes, down the stairs into this dungeon of a tattoo parlor / piercings with these 3 guys, and they spoke no English at all, and we're like a little bit freaking out. I mean, I'm obviously a fairly good sized unit, so I was fairly
For a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, I was fairly confident in my ability to look after her. They were just tatted up, and so we're trying to explain with no English, and the guy pretty much grabbed Elisa's arm, and he knew what he was on about. We didn't know that he knew what he was on about, but he was just like, "I gotcha," you know what I mean? And then another guy comes over with these plastic cups, going vodka. I can't do Barcelonan accent, and so I'm just thinking, I don't need vodka right now, bud. It's the last thing I need. And is this vodka? 'Cause it smells like chloroform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, he almost in a split second, grabbed her arm, had a pair of tweezer things in his arm, and just went this swift motion and popped it out, and we were kind of and then all the 3 go, hey, like
really?
that. Yeah.
Bleeding?
No,
everywhere?
kind of and then he put a thing on it, and it kind of saved our trip really, because I feel it was really getting in so infected that it was starting to get into the bloodstream. Yeah, it was pretty. We called her Kanky arm for no, we did it. Yeah.
Okay, so not attention to detail. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So you wouldn't notice if she is wearing something or she's not wearing anything. Jewelry we're talking about.
In
Piercings.
case you've missed the whole conversation, it's been great over here. Look. She's not a big jewelry wearer, and if she's wearing earrings, it's fairly subtle things.
Okay. Yeah.
But I feel just the concept of jewelry is not as. I mean, maybe it's just
You had a
in
big
my
chain,
world.
didn't you? You had a big.
I
you
didn't.
Did. You did. You would have had. Yeah.
You know what I
bracelet.
had? I definitely had Wu-Tang pants.
Hang on.
And I definitely had the Adidas stud clicky pants.
Did you? Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting. Eshe.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What about like a little bracelet or something, or like one of those braided ones?
Yeah,
Bali or something.
I have. It wasn't a great time in my life.
Did you have with your necklace?
Ankle.
Was it a tight one?
No,
Really?
no, I'm not into the
picture that
choking too much.
Really?
I did the whole
you had an ankle, anklet
leather bound.
Yeah, they're still in.
Oh, I mean, very Byron, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Hipster? No.
I don't know. It's really streamlined these days. It's like a little string. I think when I do
minimalistic.
see it, it's really minimalistic, and it means a lot.
That's probably a representation of the world, though, isn't it? Because it's like big meanings, minimalistic style.
Is it?
I don't know. really throwing some big calls out there at the moment.
That was going deep.
I mean, but we're happy to be wrong. But I feel you just got to voice it. You just got to throw it out there.
You do.
Yeah, I'm excited for. I'm excited for the next few episodes. Key to just unpack some more stuff.
Yeah, I think this is just getting started has been a big achievement for us to sit down here and make the time and actually have a conversation. That's been a big, like I said to you the other day, regardless on what we talked about or how it went, the fact that we got here and we're sitting here now having the conversation, which was on our radar for a while, but it was easier to push to the side with all our other commitments and priorities. But today, and fitting as it was, I didn't think we were doing it. You were full steam ahead thinking we were doing it, and you rocked up and found me in the excavator, but we're still here sitting now having that conversation.
Yeah.
And managed to.
I actually think that it was probably better that you thought it was going to get bailed on.
Interesting.
Because I'm not sure if you would mentally handle, you know what I mean, the anxiety of this whole thing coming. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with what you're saying, but yeah, go on.
Keep
fluffing it.
So that was great.
Oh, good. I'm glad that gave you confidence.
I'm going to play it in the video right now. I actually recorded myself walking up to you in the excavator going, classic Sean has fully committed. And all I can hear is this excavator in the background, full song. So today is the first day of recording our podcast. And like usual, Sean's going to be over in his tractor or excavator doing absolutely nothing in preparation for this. Very much a Sean move. But here we are on the out in the beautiful cow shit laden paddock. I'm going to pop over and see him. Yeah, there he is.
Look, regardless of how we got here, we're here.
We're here.
You know,
Yeah.
We got here, made it happen, created a set. And what do you think of the set?
Yeah, this is your place.
It is.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. So it's worked out really well. We started to set up amongst the horses out there, but lighting.
We're going to do a morning sesh.
Yes.
Or get some lighting organised.
Yep.
Because that would be a really cool thing.
There's some good little sets that we could do and have conversations with, and especially as we bring more and more people in. Into the conversation, it'd be good. Just a random horse walking by.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot that you've cultivated. A lot of work.
It has been. It's been a big learning curve. Coming from the city, having the dream like many do. Well, I don't know if many do, but having some...
just gotta throw it out there.
Just put it out there so I don't feel
Such a
alone.
dream for so many, but I managed to pull it. Yeah, it's great.
Anyway, so I got it and learnt the hard way on how much work is actually involved in, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great. It's enjoyable. Sometimes you want to cry and you spend way too much money, make too many mistakes, but it's been an incredible journey, and just watching it come along more and more, and over the next 12 months, and hopefully more and more as we get this podcast underway, we'll see more and more, learn more and more, and new cows this weekend.
Yeah, so that's kind of exciting, the cow journey.
Cow journey has been an amazing one in itself.
They're quite interesting animals, aren't they?
They are interesting. I love a cow. I love it. It's just there's something about them that's incredible, but that's not the point.
We don't need to unpack that right now.
No, we're not ready for that. Episode 1. But one of the interesting things I have found, and which we have shared this a little bit, is obviously not knowing a great deal on cattle or breeding, or I'm right into going down this path of regenerative cell grazing. You know, great for the cows, animals, great for the land, and I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm someone coming in there new and just wanting to ask 1,000 questions of people out there doing it. But one thing I have experienced in that sort of realm, the cattle realm, if you want cattle people, cow people, whatever you...
Yeah, cow people seems correct.
It's kind of a dog-eat-dog culture.
Wow.
Yeah. I like speaking to a few different people from time to time. It's just like people are really... don't want to give too much, or don't want you talking to such and such about what they've told you and everything else. And the opinions are quite diverse. So it has been trickier to navigate setting up and which direction to sort of go. Basically, you can only pull apart all the information you're sure to get and do your very best with it, and then make
Is that because they're all trying to sell? Do you feel? And they're trying to...
It's a good question. I actually don't know. I'm actually really surprised by it. Maybe it is, but there's many that it doesn't make sense for that. But I actually don't know. As I said, I'm quite new to that whole thing, and I'm sure I'll learn more and more as it goes. But it can be a very opinionated sort of industry, if you will, and maybe it is so cutthroat in certain times, and then you do have farmers that are just getting by and doing it for that's their whole livelihood is cattle, and maybe they don't want to give away too many of their secrets to a city boy coming up. But to be honest, everyone has been generally quite good, but it's more about don't let this information go beyond our conversation. Don't mention me to such and such. And it's just been quite an interesting ride, and there's just a bit more in it than just getting cows in your paddock. There's a bit of a setup and to do it all the right way, and there's a bit of an outlay, and you caught me today building cattle yards and working out what's going where and how I'm going to do this and that and running water in it. It's just
lots to it.
It's lots. And I imagine the more you go, the more you get your head around it, and it does all make sort of sense. But you just I'm trying to do it all properly and enjoy it and learn mistakes as we go.
Yeah, because once the cows rock up, you're on.
It's on.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah. There's no turning back.
You're like,
yeah,
you're responsible then, eh?
Correct. It's game time, and it's like knowing what to do if they get out and what you got to do and bringing them back and recognizing when they're not well, or recognizing when they're about to give birth, or if something goes wrong when they're giving birth, you know what to do. And
yeah, will there be a stage where
Brad, I'm hoping not.
Where you got to just commit?
Look. I can't answer that, as you know, but there is potential for it. Yeah, and yes,
wow.
I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
And potential. That's what I mean. It's all part and parcel.
Yeah, it's a huge moment, I feel.
That would be a big moment. I've heard some horror stories with tractors pulling them out and all sorts of things, but let's hope we don't have to go. We got one, but let's hope we don't have to go down that path.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. I'm really excited for it, and it's kind of, as you know, it's been my project over the last month.
Yeah.
It's
exciting.
Pulled me away from concentrating on other things, but
great, man. Wrapping up, I feel excited to meet some cool guys.
Yep.
I feel excited to form a community that feels open to receive good communication and honest and real communication, and would love to facilitate a place for that.
Yeah.
And I think we both do that well for each other, and there's no reason why there can't be a community around that. So, yeah.
No, it's great. Yeah, expanding that community and having some deep conversations and see where they go, and that's a beauty of it.
Because I feel when you find those people, there is such a hunger's maybe the right word for finding that.
Yeah.
And you find like-minded people in various states and in various positions along their journey of self-discovery and growth, and I think the biggest thing to aid in the progression of that is honesty and just great open conversation.
I think that's it. I mean, it's like
the cows, right? It's like I'm hungry for this information because I want to do the best I can.
Yeah.
But until you find the person that has the open conversation,
correct.
It feels restrictive and uncertain, and then I'm treading on toes. And so I feel in a similar vein that we just really want to open up a place and a position where there's just realness, and the questions are answered in confidence.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Like it's like when in any sort of conversation that you do have, if you're the first to bring out that point of vulnerability, and for argument's sake, it brings down a wall in the other individual to, okay, this is a bit safer. They're being vulnerable. I can be vulnerable in this.
Yeah.
And the same deal with some of these going deeper in these questions and revealing parts of characters and everything else, and just having those conversations to learn a little bit more, and not just sticking on that whole surface, like, yeah, chat, what do you do, and everything else, but going down these rabbit warrens and going a little bit deeper, and yeah, and see where it takes us.
That's a farm truck.
There's a farm truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the people down there had a 60 series cruiser. Is that part of the people that stay down there?
Oh, yes,
The old
yes,
cruiser?
yes,
That's a farm truck.
yeah. No, they got 2 farm trucks, just plotting along down there, which it's a good look. Good look.
Mate,
Well done.
pleasure.
Always.
Great times at Banya,
Yep.
8
Yep.
o'clock.
Yeah. Just sweat this out.
I need it. I need a guy.
Sorry.
I need a guy to assist me. Not in that way. I need to sort my neck out.
Oh, right. Okay. Maybe start with that next time. Yeah. Okay.
You got a good guy?
Oh, mate.
Like
I don't know if I do.
back last night, mate.
What's wrong? What's wrong with it?
Well,
It's because you did some exercise for once.
no, it's been a long. I got some pinched nerve, or I got something going on. It's been over a year and a half now.
In that neck.
Yeah, in like this whole side.
Yeah.
And I originally thought it was kids for like 4 years now, always carrying on this side. So now I've like really swapped.
Okay.
But like this whole
Yeah.
side is a mess.
Yeah,
And like
it's not
back
the
last night, I feel especially like lat pull down stuff in behind this blade
Yeah.
is like
Grinding.
fire.
Interesting.
And
It'll actually be interesting though. The more obviously you're just starting training, obviously, but getting back into it. But like training more and more and strengthening up these areas and getting movement into these areas, which you generally do. It'll be interesting to see what that does for it in itself, because like time and time again, it's proven the more you move that body and move these areas, the body's actually really good at correcting itself. Now getting back to, I'm really picky on who I will recommend and who I won't.
Yeah.
And I can't
tried a
say I
few,
have.
eh?
I have. Yeah, so have I. I've gone through a few, and yeah, and it's like everyone sort of responds a little bit different to different practitioners. You know,
Yeah.
people will scream and love the chiro, or some will love the physio and speak against everything else, or osteo and everything else. I haven't come one that's wowed me and gone, wow, that was impressive.
I'm trying not to overdo, or not overdo. I'm trying not to let my right side outshine my left. I'm trying to do everything I do, because this side feels so weaker and tighter. I'm not doing individual
Overcompensating.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just going with everything's, what would you call it, simultaneous both
Yeah, you're not
sides
isolating.
together.
You probably should isolate, to be honest.
Really? I was just trying to think, do I just
to ensure that the thing is, when you're not isolating, when you are doing like that, you can say, for instance, a lat pull down. If your stronger side is your right, it can create enough momentum that this left-hand side's just going to cruise through.
Anyway?
But if you're isolating, it has to work, because it can't
Gotcha.
rely on the momentum of the other side of your body.
Interesting.
So that way too, you can determine whether your strength levels are the same either side, and you got that balance. So isolating is probably a good thing.
What would you call it? Seated, not seated row.
Single arm rows.
Single arm row on the
Yep. Good
on the
one.
little table. I feel that really flared this up.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And which I didn't do. That was last week and a bit ago, where I did back sessions. So both back sessions have really brought about.
You've tweaked it in a back session. See, I'd pick it more for a shoulder session that you get a neck tweak. So it probably is more in that upper back going up into the neck. Yeah. I mean, we still haven't trained together.
No, I'm too afraid.
Understand.
Yeah.
Well, the day will come. The time will come.
I feel there's enough fodder for you. You don't need any more. You know what I mean?
There is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm humble enough to receive that.
Good.
Great.
Good. Banya.
Banya, 8 o'clock.
Is it Banya or Banya?
I don't know.
I think it's Banya.
Banya.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, it's
done.
A.
Banya. That's B-U, isn't it?
I believe it's BA, isn't it?
Oh, you might be right there. Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Well, mate.
Nice.